and it's called Ekse Television in Cape Town,
Right here on CTV. Listen, this is yet another edition of your favorite show, bringing you the best of the best when it comes to entertainment, edutainment, and today's show specifically is all about science. So if you're a science guru, science or a tech guru, and you're sitting at home and you're wondering, what are we talking about on today's show? That's exactly what we're going to be doing from 4 to 5 p.m. And if you'd like to interact with us on social media, we are at Ekse_live on Twitter, or on Facebook, we're at Ekse on Cape Town TV, or give us a call on 021-448-0448. We'd love to hear from you.
And one more thing, if you want to be part of the guest presenter, or send us a 30-second clip, and that is to ekse@capetowntv.org.
Yes.
And that is also if you want to be part of our studio audience. We love hearing from you, and we love meeting new people.
Oh, now listen, I'm so excited about today's show because we're going to be having Greenpeace.
Yes.
The organization will be here chatting about some very important things that are going to be happening soon. A petition that has been going around the country, making sure that we are doing the right thing when it comes to plastics and how we are, recycling those. So we're very much keen on seeing
exactly.
how
We
that
won't
goes
tell you
about.
so much more, but there's also another young lady by the name of Lily Shaw, who is coming all the way from Fishhook to be with us in studio today. We will chat to her a little bit later about climate change. It's very important though.
Yes. It's all of that and more right here on Ekse on Cape Town TV. I'm Vuyo, Joboda, darlings, and this right next to me
is Amy Meyer, and we bring you...
But we're not alone!
No! Yes!
As you know, it's a Wednesday and they never work here right here on Ekse. We're celebrating everything science. I'm trying we're celebrating International Biodiversity Day. If you do not know what that means, make sure that you come along, chill with us right through to the hour 5. We're going to be letting you know all about it. Say Tech News, we're going to be bringing you those. And we're also on social media, it's Ekse_live. And today's hashtag is #6th Parliament. If you were watching the proceedings today, let us know what got you excited, what are your expectations, and what got you upset. Are you involved in politics? Do you dislike them? Did you vote? Because if you did not, you have no right to be upset. So I'll be sitting here right here on the social media corner reading all of your tweets. It's Ekse_live on Twitter, on Facebook, it's Ekse on Cape Town TV. The number to dial 021-448-0448. Welcome to it, everybody. Right now, it's time for Say Tech News. Keep it locked.
Now we will Science Tech News. Go.
Yeah,
you want to tell us all about the news that's happening in the world?
I have the first one, and this one is it's very innovative, yet also quite interesting. And I'm asking myself, how is this possible? But let's hear all about it. So, reusable pads that can last you for 5 years. All those little dots that I'm asking myself and wondering, how is this possible? Is this science? Are we taking technology to another level? But let's hear all about that. Well, a science-born psychologist has started manufacturing reusable pads for underprivileged children in remote villages and townships. Well, her name is Vanessa Magotusi, and she said that this idea came about when she was experimenting with pads when she had period pains in the year 2015, and she thought, you know what, there are so many other kids who not only have period pains but also don't have access to sanitary towels. So she came about, a year later, she came about with a product named Affirming Dignity, which is also, is abbreviation for PAD. And that's when it was born. And, she worked with a seamstress friend, and together they made a comfortable, colorful designed pad that can last you for 5 years. And she said that, elder women spoke about the challenges that their daughters had when it came to, the access of sanitary towels. And she has now invented something that is about to create, change in our communities. And we're saying, halala to you, girl. But I'm asking myself, how safe is this, though?
Well,
because
that's also really true, because I know that it's up to 8 hours you can actually keep a pad on.
Exactly.
So,
well, she did mention that you can rewash it and hang it, and in that way that
that keeps the balance of health and sanity.
Yes.
Wow, brilliant!
Well, we're saying hala hala hala, and thank you so much for your innovation. But we have our next news.
An African team from Ghana, a compromise of girls that are 9, took to the United States and men's robotics. We're very proud of these girls. Ghana presented selected an all-girls robotics team for a senior division of the World Robo First Championship in the United States, and they won the topmost position by beating the teams from the United States, Mexico, Egypt, South Korea, and dozens more of other countries. The team is named Acrobot, and the 9 girls from the Methodist Church High School in the East region of Ghana dominated the 10 broad and challenging categories of the championship held from the 16th of May to the 18th at the Lawrence Technological University, Southfield, Michigan. The categories included e-games that show off e-projects with e-vision-centric challenges. They had to complete e-robotic missions. They developed robots to solve problems using cameras, as well as surprise missions. This team finished e-challenges Zabo, and they built a robot that could build a box.
Woo.
Imagine,
Wait, an actual cardboard box or?
it's a robotic box robot, and then I built e-boxes made out of, I would say, e-cardboard.
Okay,
cool. They were not the only team from Africa. Actually, at Ghana, there were 2 teams that represented the continent of Africa. Yeah. So the other team, which is not them, was on the 6th place. Imagine, out of 52 countries. So go Ghana,
I like
girl.
Africa.
Yeah. We're not third world like I thought. We're very first world now.
Listen, man, I'm so excited about where the future of Africa is, specifically the tech world in Africa. And someone once said to me that, you know, innovation and creativity, Africa is the birthplace of those things. So you better be on the lookout and on the watch out.
And we have beautiful weather.
And
yeah, making things should be easy.
Definitely, and I think because we don't have much resources that we can do these things with, and that's the reason why we're not able to look like or seem like we are there, you know. But I think now
we are heading towards
that, and that is absolutely exciting, man.
Well, Vuyo, when we opened the show, told you guys that Kwabantu Base Greenpeace Abazileyo up in the studio. So we're gonna be chatting to them. Petition what I know for sure is that they went to the top 4 parties that are ruling up in South Africa, namely the DA, the ANC, the IFP, as well as the EFF. The city, abantu mabesebenzise i-plastic A1. I don't know for how long, maybe for 5 years like the PED. We don't know. So let's see which political parties they spoke to right now and who went to hand over that petition. Over 11,000 petitions have been signed already. So let's see how it started.
We are very honored and we feel very grateful that, to be here with the ANC's General Secretary, Deputy Secretary General, Teshi Duarte. We launched a petition 3 months ago calling for certain single-use plastic items to be banned. And we have collected more than 10,000 signatures, nearly 11,000 signatures. We collect about 1,000 signatures a week. We also had 12 coalition partners support us in this campaign. And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has contributed to making this successful. Apart from our campaign and our petition, there are many other petitions calling for the same action to be taken against single-use plastics. There's one, for example, on change.org, which is nearly 20,000 signatures. There is, the reason we felt that this was an important issue to highlight was because we have about the equivalent of one rubbish truck full of plastic going into our oceans every minute. And by 2050 we will have more plastic in the ocean by weight than fish. South Africans use 8 billion plastic carrier bags per year, which is totally unnecessary. So we are, our seas are dying and we are killing turtles, whales, dolphins, fish, birds. But we're not only killing animals, we're harming ourselves, because only a few days ago there was a scientific report which found that there is microplastic in the tap water of Johannesburg and Tshwane. So I think we all know what the right thing is to do, but what we need is for those vested with power, the people that we elect, to legislate against single-use plastic. And this is why we are handing over this petition to you today. And again, we are very grateful that you made the time to receive us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And first of all, let me just say that you might find this strange, but we support you because we believe that this is going to strengthen our own research that's been done by the Environmental Affairs Department, whereby we believe that simply imposing restrictions on the utilization of plastics hasn't worked. We need something stronger. We're also worried about the impact on the ocean, but not only the ocean, on our rivers as well, and also just on our environment in general. Plastics are like flowers, the new flowers. It's very untidy. It's absolutely the wrong thing to have in our lives. So we think perhaps we should say to you that we look forward to working with you quite closely on the way forward and finding a solution that will work for you.
And we're here as Greenpeace Africa volunteers in Durban today at the IFP office in Durban to hand over this Llama petition calling for the ban on single-use plastics in South Africa. Single-use plastics has caused a major problem around the world, and our country needs to step up and do its bit to ban single-use plastics. So we're here with IFP Chief Work and Environment Spokesperson Narayan Singh, and he's here to receive this petition from us. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, we believe that whilst we need to empathize with those that have lost life and property, it is the responsibility of the local authority to ensure that even before the first informal dwelling is built, the site needs to be appropriate. You get them being built in floodplains where you are prone to these kinds of damages. You get them being built in places where soil stability is not right. So whilst we empathize, we also believe it's a responsibility of government to ensure that if there is need for informal settlements and they are built in areas on a temporary basis which are stable and which will not cause loss of property and life. As the IFP, we commit ourselves to the aims and objectives of Greenpeace, and we will always be taking up this fight in Parliament. And as you can see, we are the only party of the top four that we are delivering this memorandum today that have cited it in our manifesto.
That's where they went to Greenpeace African National Congress. Baba Niga petitions, and they went to IFP of plastic use benishwe, especially a parliament. And then this started earlier on this year, which is fitting hashtag yetu yanamhlanje with is hashtag 6th Parliament. So we want to find out what prompted this. I'm sure we all know, but to tell us better is people on the yellow couches. Make sure that you engage with us at Ekse_live on Facebook and Twitter, Ekse on Cape Town TV, 021-448-0448. Welcome to the biggest, the baddest, and the most hip and happening yellow couches with Vuyo.
Hip and happening. Sure, I love it when you do that. Listen, today in studio we're joined by Elaine Mills, who is the Cape Town-based volunteer who started the campaign, which is the Greenpeace Africa. Hello, Elaine.
Hello, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Let's get straight into it. What exactly is, or where exactly did the whole initiative of Greenpeace Africa come about?
So we, as the volunteer group in Cape Town, wanted to do something that was achievable and that was also, that would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And because we live next to the ocean, we see the impact of plastic every day. And so we decided to launch this petition on Greenpeace Africa's public petition platform called Vuyo Earth. We collected about 1,000 signatures in the first week, and that pace continued for the 4 months that it was actually 3 months that we collected signatures. And by the end of it, we had nearly 11,000 signatures. We collected signatures nearly every weekend. Online, of course, there were also a lot of people who signed on. We took part in activities to highlight the petition, such as the naked bike ride, collected signatures at what used to be the Argus, the Cape Town Cycle Tour. And we also went to the Green Pop Reforest Fest, where we helped to plant 950,000 trees as well as collect signatures.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I do know that you would like to actually ban plastic bags in South Africa. Tell me, what's the importance about that?
We actually want to ban 6 single-use plastic items, which we chose because they are easy, they're quite unnecessary and they're easy to replace. So plastic bags is one of them, the grocery bags, and also the small fruit and veg bags that you get.
Yes.
And then straws, earbuds, cutlery, and coffee stirrers. The reason why this is important is that a lot of sea animals and seabirds are dying because of ingesting plastic. But it's not only that we're harming nature and animals, it's actually infiltrated the human food chain. So it's been found in beer, in bottled water, in fish. Recently there was a report that found plastic particles in Johannesburg and Chane's tap water. So we are actually also ingesting plastic without realizing it.
Yeah. Wow. And how many plastics is South Africa producing? In the sense of like, where are we currently sitting when it comes to the plastic use, when it comes to numbers?
So South Africa produces about 1.5 million tons of single-use plastic. So it's important to distinguish between disposable plastic and plastic which you use again and again, which is not as harmful. In fact, it can be quite useful. Of that 1.5 million tons, only about 20% gets recycled. The rest ends up in landfill, or it ends up in rivers, oceans, on the land. It translates to each person using about 50 kilograms of plastic every year, which then just gets disposed. And we also use 8 billion plastic bags a year.
So I do know that you just mentioned earlier on that you signed 11,000 people, as well as when you spoke about the plastic in the ocean, saying that the animals were digesting it, and it's in the tap water in China, and so forth. I'd like to know, is 11,000 enough for Greenpeace, or that they can get a bit further than that?
We're not going to focus, I mean, we would like more signatures, but we think that 11,000 already shows that there's huge support for this, and our petition isn't the only one. There are many others. There's one on change.org which collected nearly 20,000 signatures. I recently saw another one asking for the same thing, and they collected nearly 30,000 signatures. So what we are going to focus on now is actually pressurize the political parties to adopt this as a law. So, and the 4 top political parties have accepted our petition. They all acknowledge that it's an important issue to look at. So we are going to, there's various different routes that we can follow to turn this into law. And so we're going to start lobbying at a parliamentary level.
Yeah. And what are some of the measures that you're taking in order to reach the everyday South African, to just educate them about the importance of recycling and reusing in order to save the planet?
There's a few activities that we're taking part in. So there are regular river and beach cleanups.
Yes.
We also have a Facebook page, and we want to create a few artistic interventions, for example, something a bit similar to the naked bike ride, where some of us were dressed in plastic outfits made from recycled plastic. So there's a few. We want to get some artists involved, some who make their art from plastic or material that will otherwise end up in landfill. So that's just a few ideas.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me about the challenges that you guys got from trying to at least send out this petition to government, to individuals, people in Cape Town, to at least sign out, to to at least sign up. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
It was, in some ways, I think the formulation of the petition was quite tricky in the beginning to decide what we wanted to ask for. Certain events, it was not difficult to get people to sign the petition. But it was harder work, I think, than any of us actually anticipated it would be. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, especially to reach out to people in the Cape Flats and the townships. I think that's one aspect where we definitely haven't made enough progress.
Because I think that 11,000 signatures is brilliant, and it shows that there's a huge support from Cape Town, that is, they actually want to make the change, and they want to actually maybe replace, not maybe, will definitely replace plastic bags to what was it again you said?
Reusable bags.
Reusable
so
bags, yes.
Material bags, or even plastic that you use again, as long as it's durable.
Yes, because I saw straws are also now, they are now carbon.
Yes, so you get cardboard straws.
Cardboard, excuse me, yes.
And some that are biodegradable.
Yes.
Although, of course,
that needs a bit of work on, because I don't know if you saw, but you need to suck on the straw. The straw becomes like wet all the way up again, and you need to take a new one.
Yes, I've heard that some of the paper straws don't work very well, which basically defeats the purpose of it.
I want to find out who's part of the problem really, because a couple of years ago, plastic bags were free of charge when you go to your retailer. They pack your groceries and then give you a plastic bag, and people thought, no, this is a problem, let's save the environment, and they started selling the plastic bags so that there's less plastic outside.
Yes.
Who keeps persisting? Who's producing these? Who's not listening to the cries of the environment?
I think, unfortunately, most people. It's so convenient to go into the shop and to use a plastic bag and then to not pay much attention to what happens to that bag. Most people are not really in the habit of bringing their own bags, unfortunately. And when you don't have a bag, you're forced to well, actually you're not forced to, but a lot of people don't have the money to keep on buying durable bags. So I think it's the consumer is the problem, but it's also businesses who they actually sometimes even insist on you taking a bag. And then government is not really legislating against it strongly enough. The price is not a disincentive. It worked for a little while where people used less bags, but now they've become used to that just being part of the cost of shopping.
Would you say making plastic bags more expensive would be a great idea?
Absolutely, I mean that would help. I'm just not sure exactly how expensive it needs to be. And unfortunately we have so much disposable plastic going into the environment that it would be much better just to not use plastic where you don't need to, because there's so much plastic that is difficult to phase out, such as the plastic that keeps food fresh. And all of that ends up in the environment as well.
So you went out to two other political parties to hand over this petition, and let's check it out, or rather see what exactly went down to those political parties. Let's check it out.
And I'm here on behalf of Greenpeace Africa, Johannesburg activists, and we're here at the EFF headquarters in Johannesburg, Braamfontein. We're here to hand over the petition that's been signed by over 11,000 people to ban the single use of plastics. So what drives this campaign is that we noticed that in South Africa has become one of the worst users when it comes to the disposal of plastic, and we want to come up with more sustainable alternatives. So that's why we're here today, to give this petition to EFF and to ask you to commit in your election manifesto to be able to ban the single use of plastics. So sir, can we count on you?
Well, you can definitely do that. My name is Vuyo. I am the head of legal for the Economic Freedom Fighters. And as most South Africans know, that the EFF has committed this year to be the year of health, or they are dedicated to health. And health is not only restricted to that of a physical being, but it is also translated, or it can go beyond the physical being and the health, overall health of the environment. I am not in a position to say that we can make the commitment insofar as including it in a manifesto. I do not have those powers. However, the EFF is committed to a healthy environment, committed to a healthy lifestyle, and we received this petition.
Thank you so much.
Good spirits.
So thank you for agreeing to meet with us today.
Thank you.
My name is Sabra Zahara. I am a Greenpeace volunteer, and we'd like to hand over this plastic petitions document, which has got about like 10,800 plus signatures from concerned citizens across Cape Town and the broader country, because we'd like the DA to very seriously, whether they're coming to power or not, look at banning single-use plastics in supermarkets, because we're concerned about the earth, we're concerned about the planet, and we feel that as a big player in this political game, you have a responsibility to the masses with regards to how you're going to implement these changes in your manifesto, as a political party, in parliament, and just on the streets, in the supermarkets, everywhere. We're not the first country that is asking for this. There are many other countries that have led, globally with regards to banning single-use plastic. New Zealand is one of them. They've just done that as well. Tanzania is another. The list goes on and on. But we feel that South Africa needs to take a stand with regards to the use of single-use plastic. So we're handing this over to you. And we're asking you to publicly acknowledge, if you can, that this is an issue and that you're going to look into it.
Thank you very much. We accept the petition. We take the issue very seriously, and I think that care for the environment is the only guarantee that we have that we have a future on this planet. Which is incredibly important. I think we will take this forward internally. We will discuss inside the party what the approach needs to be, and we will take your petition forward.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that was the DA as well as the EFF being handed over petition plastic use for a very, very long time. So let's head over to our social media. We asked if you're watching the proceedings to Parliament. I'm using the hashtag the 6th Parliament to participate on this hashtag. Follow us on Twitter, it's Ekse_live. On Facebook, it's Ekse on Cape Town TV. The first one comes from Usaki. He says, when I was watching, that's Yongena Ngevosho promise has just been signed, sealed and delivered by one and the only hashtag Julius Malema on the hashtag 6th Parliament. So Julius ayo now here's a rare picture, says Martin Longstar, of rare hashtag black privilege in the Parliament. Can we see that picture, VT? Yes. There he is, the leader. And then the rest is former privileged. Wait. And then UDK Zilwa says EFF Aizingeni, Africans and English part of the national anthem hashtag 6th Parliament. That's when the EFF decided to sit down. Africa. They did all the African languages and the most English and Africans.
Wow.
On Sal Sat so and not sing. The other one from Ora Bietsu says, what an awesome ceremony that the Chief Justice performed by leading Parliament into prayer. What an act of leadership. Congratulations, Chief Justice Mogoeng, hashtag 6th Parliament. Vuyo, did you wash since you left?
Listen, darling, I washed and I am watching you wash on TV. Listen, if you've just joined us on the show, we are still chatting to Greenpeace Africa volunteer Elaine Mills, who's a Cape Town-based volunteer. Welcome back to the show, Elaine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So if I want to be part of Greenpeace and I want to be an agent for change, particularly, you know, bringing change within our climate space, how do I go about doing that?
We would love to have you. The easiest is to contact us. We've got a Facebook page, Cape Town, Greenpeace Cape Town Volunteers. And then we will invite you to an induction, which is 2 days, where we introduce you to Greenpeace's values and ethos and way of operating. And then you're good to go to help us and join the fun and the serious work.
Yeah, change the world.
How much people are actually involved in the induction like right now?
Well, we just had one over the weekend, which was great, and we've got 25 new enthusiastic volunteers. But that's only the one group. So Greenpeace is all across South Africa. There's a group in Durban and in Joburg. And then we have also groups in several other African countries.
Can you stay as long as you want to?
Absolutely. I mean, we would like to have you
as long as
as long as possible, yes.
Yeah, wow.
What does the future look like if this does not succeed?
It's catastrophic. I mean, the issue of plastic is only one, but there's also climate change, and we've all seen the impact recently with the Durban floods and the cyclone in Mozambique and Malawi that affected so many people's lives. We all know that weather is becoming increasingly erratic. But to come back to the issue of plastic, our life on Earth depends on the oceans. So if we don't look after our oceans, it spells a really bleak future for us.
Meaning we can't drag our feet, it's time to act now, today.
Absolutely.
As we walk out of this door.
Yes,
pick up the
please.
plastic and throw it into the bin.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to the show, Elaine, and I hope that our viewers got to take all that information and knowledge and they'll make the change right there at home. Amy, where are we going to next?
We are going to go right now for a little breather. We're going to go to an ad break.
Go pick up those plastics, you guys. 2015 Development Agenda, Sustainable Development Goals. So besithetha ke earlier on plastic use and why we should ban use of plastic over and above ukuyithenga. So now climate change ngenxa yezinto ezinjalo iyacinezeleka. So let's find out what Greta, all the way from Sweden, did to take action against climate change.
In Sweden,
Mexico,
in the Netherlands,
in India,
in Australia,
Turkey,
in Russia,
Switzerland, Mauritius,
the USA,
Italy,
Croatia,
in Mongolia,
in Georgia,
Germany,
Peru,
in Uganda,
in Ireland,
England,
Greece,
in Serbia,
Hungary,
in Scotland, in Poland,
Nigeria,
Ukraine,
in Argentina,
Andorra,
Lithuania,
in
Brazil,
in Japan,
Canada,
in Czech Republic,
Austria,
Egypt,
in Cyprus,
in Chile, in Pakistan,
in Iceland,
the UK,
in France,
in Indonesia,
Denmark,
New Zealand, in Belgium,
that we only live on planet Earth. There's no planet B or planet C that we can pack our bags and fly over. So we need to take care of this Earth. That's why abantu abancinci that are fighting for change, since the adults are not doing so. So be part of the change, and it starts with you. Climate change is very real, and we all need to take action. People who took action are the ones that are in Parliament sitting today. Sitting your comrades, whether we're orange or blue or black and gold, clumping in 44 seats or 240. It all matters not. Our hashtag for the day is hashtag 6th Parliament, and this is what we had to say. On Twitter, Laguan says, at what age do we go on pension in South Africa, Mara? All I see from this other party is old age. Hashtag 6th Parliament. Ooh-wee. Shots fired. Mr. Fia Focal, that's Fikile Mbalula, by the way. Today, together with my comrades, I took an oath for being a member of Parliament. It's official. It's Mr. Fikile Mbalula, the MP now. I dare not fail South Africans who entrusted us with their vote. Hashtag the 6th Parliament. Shomani_job says, wow, May Elizabeth just expropriated that oath of office without compensation. Hashtag 6th Parliament. And then at Red says, Dr. Dlamini Zuma will be the deputy president, then December this year, there will be an NGC. Ramaphosa will be removed, and Dr. Dlamini Zuma will take over as the president for the 5th. Wow. Hashtag 6th Parliament. Let us know what you thought of the proceedings right there in Parliament. Kumbula Basi voted for the 6th time, and we've got our 6th free and fair elected democratic president, which is Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Joining us in studio today is Ulili, who is also fighting for change when it comes to climate. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well. I'm excited. Are you?
Oh, wow. In red. Look, standing in that red.
Thank you.
Lily, I'm going to ask you a first question. Tell us again, what is climate change?
Climate change is a threat that man-made has, it is man-made. Basically, we've caused this, we've caused
this problem. Yeah.
Like a problem that by burning fossil fuels, by producing plastic and other forms of damaging our biodiversity.
Yeah. Okay. And at such a young age, when did you get this passion and drive and motivation to stand up for climate change?
Well, my mother's been like an eco-warrior and activist for most of her life. Yeah. And I never really joined in, but I thought that if I don't do anything now, then I might not be able to do anything in the future. Yeah. So I had to get involved, really.
Yeah.
And you came all the way from Fishhook today. Yes. Okay, I have another question for you. What challenges is Earth facing? And can one say we are nearing higher rates of global warming if we do not immediately, effectively change the climate?
So the threats we're facing right now are possible human extinction, which is very likely. Mm-hmm. We're facing the threats of our coral reefs going completely extinct, which would mean there'll be no more life. And we get most of our oxygen from our oceans, so that would mean, again, human extinction. Mm-hmm. And we're wiping out most of our land animals as well. We're cutting down rainforests. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of threats that Earth is facing, but all of these threats are caused by us. And if we don't start changing our very ways of life immediately, then it's very possible that global warming is going to continue rising in severity, and it will end up as the 6th mass extinction of more than
the planet.
A couple of months ago, Lily, I went to Parliament where a group of young people, loads, more than 2,000 young people skipped school to strike. They didn't go to school, and I guess Greta, who we just saw from Sweden, started that movement. No, I'm not going to go to school, I'm going to strike so that the government listens to me. Are you partaking in those sort of things? Is it correct that you do not go to school every Fridays?
Yes, that is true. I was actually at that climate strike.
All right. So what does your principal say when you decide to skip school and hang around Parliament?
Well, we're like a non-violent movement, like we can't make money. So our principles are basically, we're trying to raise awareness and we're begging our governments that they have to actually take action on what's happening.
Are you not worried about school then?
I don't see the point in being worried about school, because if we continue doing nothing about the situation, then there's going to be no school, there's going to be no exams or economic growth or jobs, because we're going to be dead.
And why do you think people aren't doing the change? What's holding on the society from doing the right thing?
Well, it's mainly comfort. People don't want to stray because they've found a way of life of making themselves comfortable. They don't want to have to stop using plastic. They don't want to have to stop driving a car. They don't want to stop doing these things because it's easy and accessible for them. And actually, the vast majority of the population that do know about climate change is middle class, and they are the comfortable ones, so they don't actually want to do anything. But the poorer class is actually this one suffering most from climate change, because they don't have any, they don't have any accessibility to help or anything.
Since that strike, did you guys have any engagement with the powers that be? I mean, the members of Parliament, because it's the people that you wanted to hear your voices. Have they responded to you in some way?
Well, climate change has become a more popular subject, and people are starting to address it as an issue. Our leaders are definitely not doing enough, honestly. They should be declaring climate emergency, they should be banning plastic, they should be starting to move to green energy, but they're not. So they're obviously not hearing us as enough as they should be.
So what should be the next step from you, from she, from me, from everybody who's watching?
Well, we do encourage activism as striking because it does raise a lot of awareness. So we encourage people to stand up for their planet or to stop. It's like what people can do is simple things like stop using, like one day they don't eat meat, one day they don't use a car. Like simple things like that is what the general population can do. And we have to try and force our governments into a position where they have to take the severity of the situation into action.
Yeah. What is happening this coming Friday, and what is your role in the activity that will be taking place?
This coming Friday is another international school strike, where we will be standing outside of Parliament in protest against what's happening. My role is I'm a messenger or like an ambassador for what's happening, and I'm like one of the coordinators of youth as well.
Yeah, and
sorry. I wonder if I can say this, #change the world Michael Jackson, you know? You want to add anything?
Well, I just wanted to know how many schools are going to be part of the strike. Who have you contacted, and how many young people are going to be at the strike on Friday?
Right now we don't actually have a proper number, but we definitely do know there's going to be a reasonable amount of children, because there is a couple of schools that said they're going to come, but we don't have an exact number of how many children will be attending the strike.
Yeah.
How long do you think it will take for the world to actually come to the realization this is what could happen? Mass extinctions, we could lose all of our animals, the water resources can go into toxic waste. How long do you think people will realize and open their minds, open their eyes? I mean, they do see it, but it's very slow, just like Llama also mentioned.
Well, the sad part is people aren't waking up enough. Like they're not doing it fast enough. It is happening, but by the time people fully wake up, it might already be too late.
I do know if bees goes extinct, we will go extinct in the next 4 years.
Bees?
Yes.
Bees are already facing extinction. Most of our famous bees have already gone extinct.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
What now? What should happen? I know Llama asked this question, but what should happen now, from this very day? What should our viewers take back with them, in order to combat this epidemic?
Well, I do encourage that they do their own research about the topic, because you can then fully understand what's actually happening. And after that, I encourage they go to strikes. They hold educational workshops for people in poorer communities. They try and limit their single-use plastic. they stop polluting, they don't throw things away, they try and recycle. Like things like that is what
I also
we
think, I
suggest.
don't know if you guys actually noticed, oh my word.
Yeah, well, and if you're one of those people who want to get back the land, what's the point of having it if it's extinct? Let's save the climate. Right now it's time for us to save the air break and come back to Ekse.
Darlings, and thank you once again for joining us on the show. You're watching Ekse right here on Cape Town TV, channel 263, your favorite show that brings you the best of the best. Listen, we serve you the realest here on our show on Ekse. And if you'd like to, discuss or rather interact with us on what you thought about on today's show, so come on social media. But before we go into, closing off the show, there's something very interesting that I'd like to tell you at home and you guys and everyone in studio tonight at 10 p.m. till 10 p.m. and 11 p.m., you should be seeing something very different, something very specific and significant happening on the sky. So the moon is going to be moving.
Me? Where am I moving to?
It's moving to Satan. If you don't know what Satan is,
Satan.
It is another planet within the Milky Way. So our very precious moon is moving in front of Satan today. And if you'd like to watch the exact times for various locations, all you have to do is to visit the Astronomical Society of Southern Africa to see the shift and movement happening when Llama Moon is moving to Satan.
To me, Amy, we're going to kiss tonight.
Oh man, but that's something that's happening and that's interesting that's going to be happening in our country and in our planet today. So you do want to do the right thing and check it out. And as I said earlier on, that if you'd like to share with us about your thoughts on what you think we should do to help and save the country and the continent and the climate, all you have to do is go on social media at Ekse_live and at Ekse on Cape Town TV on Facebook. So just let us know, what your thoughts are and how you think you could change and bring about climate change. So if you'd like to share your thoughts on us with us on social media, at Ekse_live on Twitter, or we're at Ekse on Cape Town TV on Facebook, or call us on 0214480448. Guys, massively say show.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wanted to add though, with the whole, with Lily, the bins, they need to be a bit more closer so we can pick up and just throw it, because we're getting lazy these days, eh?
Speak for yourself, girl.
Girl, sorry.
Tomorrow's the We Talk Show, which we usually do every Thursday. So if you want to be part of the studio audience, it's Ekse at Cape Town TV. And if you want to be one of the guest presenters that we're going to be hosting the month of June, send us a clip that is no longer than 3 minutes to iamlamamoon@gmail.com or llama@capetowntv.org, or call us on 021-448-0448. Tomorrow it's the talk show. On Friday we've got the culture. We also have and Vuyo, what are we talking about in the social commentators? Is it a surprise?
It's a surprise. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. You do want to tune in. I think it's time for us to stand up on our feet. And it is mid-week madness. So we're going to close off the show by having a little bit of dance session where Llama is going to stand up with us.
We're seeing the moon.
Listen,
the moon.
we promised you a good show from 4 to 5 p.m. Do join us tomorrow, same time, same place. So catch the repeat at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is Ekse on Cape Town TV. I am Joboda, darlings. And this
is Miss Amy Meyer.
And I am Llama Moon.
And we dance. Hey.
you are proudly African and you want to tell us what makes you proudly African, do so on our social media. It's Ekse at Cape Town TV. Okanye ungene ku Facebook, you follow Cape Town TV. It's simply at Cape Town TV on Facebook. That number is 021-448-0448. We want to find out what makes you proudly African, if you are proud, because we are celebrating Africa Month. We said what makes us proudly African on Friday. What makes you proudly African?
Is to be a 94 and still seeing progress, even though it's slow, in Cape Town.
Okay,
Yes.
and you wanted to say something?
no.
You wanted music?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's dance.
Hey.